Hi, my name is Riva Villa. I am the director of the Upward Bound program at Shelton High School, and I am here to tell you about the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute and Bridge program for the year 2020, which will now take place virtually. First, I'd like to tell you about the theme that we've developed for this year, which is "The people united will never be defeated. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido." This year has forced all of us to overcome challenges we have never faced in our lifetime. The COVID-19 pandemic prompted us to isolate out of fear of contamination, which we attributed to contact with one another. Such changes forced us to think about how our actions impact those in more vulnerable situations. And although many people selfishly hoarded supplies, many more stepped up to help others, offering to sell surplus supplies, creating pop-up food and clothing banks, and even shifting American production to aid in the protection of vulnerable populations against a disease that could easily kill them. So, this summer, we will reflect on how overcoming challenges and failures can build resilience and lead to opportunities for students. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the purpose of the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute and Bridge programs. First, about the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute, the purpose is to provide outcome-driven, high-impact programming that is designed to give students the opportunity to practice being a college student every summer. Students will take core classes to help prepare for the next school year. They participate in empowering workshops, cultural events, and college tours, and they reside in the dorms at Evergreen and dine at the Greenery, but not this year. A little bit about our traditional bridge program and the purpose for that. It's designed to ease the transition to college for recently graduated Upward Bound students, to get students into a college-ready mindset, to give incoming college students tools to overcome adversities on their own. But this year, the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute and Bridge program will take place virtually. Both programs will take place online via Canvas and Zoom. We will incorporate longer breaks and more time for homework and homework help, which means that the days will begin later and end earlier. The Bridge program actually will take place entirely in the evening times, allowing recently graduated students to work during the day as long as you're able to attend class around 5 p.m. I will reach out to Bridge students to see if 5 p.m. is a good time to start or if we need to negotiate our start time, as I will be teaching the primary Bridge class for students this year. Another benefit to the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute and Bridge going online is that students can learn from the comfort of home, which is something that college students actually have the opportunity to decide whether or not they want to do, including running START students. And this is an opportunity where students can practice. Students can still earn credit from core classwork and a stipend that's based largely on attendance and participation. I'm trying to see if I can get families a meal stipend at the beginning of each week for the summer program, which is a total of 6 weeks long, so that I can help families contribute to feeding students. And I'm also trying to make the Bridge program worth college credit, but both of those things are still being determined, especially stipend amounts. The dates that the summer program will run this year, both Bridge and Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute, will run from June 26th through July 30th, and we will have no program on the July 3rd, which is the day before the Independence Day holiday. All of our meetings will take place Monday through Friday, but students are still expected to complete homework and other things on days when we are not meeting. So this is what the schedules are going to look like. They're very rough schedules at this point, so some things may change by the time students start with our program. But the traditional program will take place all day long with some breaks in between, starting around 11 a.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will hold core classes, including interdisciplinary humanities and STEM programs taught by Amr Hassan and Graham Clegg. In between those classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, students will have time between 3 and 5:30 for independent learning, where they can go out and do field work, collect samples, or just hang out and watch TV, whatever students choose to do. That is not our time with them. Around 5:30, those students are going to be expected to do different types of workshops on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Fridays will have work study obligations for students, which will take place online and will consist largely of researching different careers and what it would take to actually work within those careers. And then on Wednesdays, I'd like to try to hold financial literacy workshops. At this time, Elizabeth is the person who will be in charge of running those workshops, but I'm actually anticipating we will get a few guest speakers coming in to help students gain some financial literacy skills. And then from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., student success coaches will hold other student success workshops that'll consist a little bit more of survival skills that are soft skills like self-care and how to maintain really a motivated college mindset. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to have leadership programming. So that'll start with George Castro, who is an admissions counselor at the Evergreen State College, leading leadership classes. You'll have a little bit of a longer lunch those days from 12 until 1:30. Beginning at 1:30, students will be taking a college prep course where they will have the opportunity to complete portfolios that are required for graduation. And usually these portfolios consist of the materials that you'll need to apply for college as well. It makes senior year a lot easier if you're able to get that out of the way during the summer. You'll have a brief break from 3 to 5 p.m. and then starting at 5, students will be expected to join homework support, and student success coaches are going to be available for that to provide help with homework, tutoring, maybe a little bit of confidence building. Dinner will take place daily between 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. Students are very welcome to eat while attending the program, but we do want to give students a break so that they can spend time with their family, and we want to make sure that families and students are aware of when we're planning for meals so that you guys can plan accordingly. After dinner at 7:30 to 8:30, students will be expected on Tuesdays and Thursdays to attend virtual college tours and participate in reading circles, which will help students build skills for seminaring. The Bridge program will look a little different. Because of the rigor of the English 102 class that I will be teaching on Mondays and Wednesdays, the entire program will take place in the evenings, so students are free to do what they will during the day. However, students are expected to turn in homework on time, just like a regular summer program or college English 102 class. I will be teaching the English 102 course, as English is the area where I've received my degrees, and I want students to understand the rigor of college level expectations for reading, writing, and seminaring. So that will take place Mondays and Wednesdays. Students will still have a break between 6:30 and 7:30 for dinner, and then students will have success coach workshops that they will be able to attend with the younger students on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, once again, we're going to have leadership days. So students will take success workshops with different offices at the Evergreen State College, which will rotate throughout the summer program. These offices are academic and career advising, First People's multicultural advising, and of course, TRIO, which is the college version of Upward Bound. After that, we have a bridge study group available where students will be expected to drop in and at least give an idea of where they are on their homework, but it is also an opportunity for students to receive help with their homework, which might include also mini seminaring. That'll take place from 6 until 8:30 p.m. with an obvious break in between from 6:30 to 7:30 for dinner, including dinner for our staff. At this time, I have Priscilla blocked in there, but we've actually made a decision for hiring a program support interpreter / bridge success coach. And so Sebastian Tellez will be joining us and actually leading the bridge study group on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Fridays, bridge students, just like the other students, are expected to complete work study in order to earn their stipends. And so Fridays, I will be leading a meeting for work study and guiding research for work study. And then students will be expected to conduct a lot of independent research and will be asked to be giving presentations and report outs on what they learn for their desired careers. So that will take place on Fridays for bridge students. So here is the team that we're planning to build to provide support for the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute and Bridge program. First, we have language support, which will consist of our program site coordinator, Priscilla Desiderio Herrera, and our program support interpreter, Sebastian Tellez, who will also be a Bridge success coach. We also have our co-curricular staff. This includes our leadership instructor, George Castro, student success coaches who are still interviewing. We're planning to hire between 2 and 3 of them, and any guest workshop facilitators that we might invite to impart knowledge on the students. We also have core class staff, which will include our interdisciplinary instructors for our traditional program. Amar Hassan will be teaching humanities, and Graham Clegg will be teaching STEM. Educational advisor and instructor Elizabeth Rush will be teaching the college prep class for students, where they will be completing their portfolios for graduation and for college, as mentioned before. And finally, we have a Bridge staff, which will consist of me. I am the director, and I'm going to be teaching the English 102 class, our program support interpreter and Bridge success coach, Sebastian Tellez, and any guest workshop facilitators from academic and career advising, First Peoples, and TRIO. So what do students need to join the virtual Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute or Bridge program? Students will need current email addresses. This will be to activate your My Evergreen account and access Canvas. This will also allow you to join Google Docs and receive feedback. Students will need Wi-Fi and internet access because obviously you're going to need that for an online program. Students will need the Zoom app because all class meetings will take place via Zoom. If you do not have Zoom, you can go to zoom.us and download a free version. Or if you pay attention to our Instagram and Facebook, you may have noticed that our program site coordinator, Priscilla, has uploaded a video, a TikTok video of how to download Zoom for your phone. We also will need a device or maybe a couple of devices that access Wi-Fi or the internet that have a camera or webcam. That's going to be necessary for maintaining high levels of participation during our Zoom meetings, and microphones, which will be necessary for completing seminaring. Students will also need something to complete their assignments. It might be a little bit more challenging to use a phone or tablet to complete assignments, which might include typing out essays, but it can be done. However, we would like for students to use whatever they might use if they were college students. And so students will want something that'll make it a little bit easier to complete their homework. Students will also need to give us a current mailing or delivery address so that we can actually mail stipends, especially weekly meal stipends, if we're able to do that by the beginning of each week. And we will also need that to deliver supplies to you. If we are missing something on this list that you can anticipate will be needed, or if you are missing something that's on this list that you know you will need to join our summer program, then please let us know. We do have some resources that we may be able to check out to students or even give to students during the summer included with their supplies. So please reach out to us and let us know. So how will summer stipends work this year? I know a lot of students always ask questions about summer stipends. So there are 3 ways. Students can earn a stipend through participation, accomplishments, and leadership. We do not have our expectation logs this year that need signatures from teachers, which obviously you cannot get. And we do not have highlights this year. So how is this going to look? Well, active participation is required. If you attend your classes, you can receive some participation stipend because participation and attendance is going to be worth a certain amount for all programming. Tardiness over 15 minutes late will equal a reduction of your stipend, and absence, especially if you aren't able to participate through your absence, will lead to a forfeit in your participation stipend. This is very standard for Upward Bound Summer Learning Institutes for our program. What does participation look like? It means that you're engaged, you're asking questions, your video is on with Zoom, and your mic is on or muted when asked. A lack of participation means that you could forfeit your attendance or participation stipend for the day. That will be kind of equivalent to our traditional highlight system. So if a student success coach or instructor notices that you are not participating actively, they may decide to revoke your participation stipend, which you can always appeal by writing a letter or an email to me explaining why you still deserve that stipend. Staff will be obligated to let students know if this is happening, so you will be aware if you have forfeited your stipend due to lack of participation. And we'll explain more of this on the first day of the program, which will act as a brief orientation. Students can also earn stipends through their accomplishments. So this year you will actually get paid for completing your homework and submitting it on time. And you can additionally get bonus stipend awards that success coaches are responsible for awarding to students by taking on extra responsibility to help others. And all of this will be monitored through Canvas. I will see your participation by your instructor's remarks and success coach's remarks through their Canvas pages. But don't worry, you got this. Everybody's capable of earning a stipend through this program, and I will be monitoring all of this very closely to ensure that everybody is awarded stipend in an equitable way. So another way that you can actually get a stipend is for your meals. We're a federal program. We are not another school club, and that actually means that we are only allowed to spend our money in very particular ways. We are not allowed to give students money for meals, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to have meals delivered to students who live in rural areas and may not even qualify for delivery for some food places. So we have decided we would like to pay students a larger stipend during the summer since we can't just give you money for meals. With this, we will actually be asking students to complete work study, and even though that work study will be virtual, it needs to be rigorous enough that it'll be worth the stipend money that the college will need to match in order to give students their funds. So we're seeking funds from the college to supplement our stipends so that we can give more money to students, and especially so that we can give money to students at the beginning of each week. This is going to take a lot of cooperation from other offices at Evergreen, and because of that, our distribution dates and amounts for meal stipends are still being determined, and I will notify families who apply to the program or register for the program rather of what those amounts are when it comes to orientation day. But we will also not have summer meal checkoff, which I'm sure students are grateful for. So how will students earn credit for classes? By attending all classes regularly and on time via Zoom, you will receive schedules that have both a Zoom ID and a link. You can use either to join your Zoom classes, and it will also show the time that you're expected to meet with your classes on Zoom. Please let us know ahead of time if you're planning to be absent for any days or if you're going to be late for any of the days. That way your instructors are aware, and we will not mark you down too much for absences that you cannot control. We also expect students to submit all work completed and on time via Canvas, Google Docs, or whatever accessible online learning tool your instructor has you submit your work through. We anticipate students will participate actively, take notes, and not procrastinate on their homework in order to earn credit for their classes. And we really need students to ask for help when needed. Don't just give up on yourself, because we're not going to give up on you, but we don't know when you need help. So please, please, please let us and your instructors know how we can help you, what you need, and we'll make sure that you can get it. So a very important question: how do I register for the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute or Bridge program since I cannot turn in a physical application to Upward Bound staff? We have forms available on our WordPress website, and the link is above. You may have to pause the video to type the link in manually since this is not a live Zoom, but you'll be able to go there and download a PDF form and a Microsoft Word form. The only catch with those is we need students to be able to print those, sign them, then scan or take a picture of them and send them back to us. And I will give you an email for that in a second. We now have a Google form though, where you can complete the entire registration online. However, you must send a follow-up email due to security and privacy issues. We do not want students and families sharing super private information such as addresses and phone numbers and stuff. We would much rather receive an email with that information, since email tends to be a little bit more secure than the Google Suite services. That will replace a signature for those documents for now. We will likely seek out a signature once we return to the school during the academic year next year. And please email all completed forms or any questions about how to complete these forms to Priscilla Desiderio at desiderp@evergreen.edu. So Upward Bound Bridge registration forms are due May 22nd, 2020, which is next Friday, I believe. Yes, it is next Friday by 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means that all forms need to be emailed to Priscilla by that time, and we will seek out any students who submit incomplete forms. At this time during our presentation, we asked if we had any questions, and one question that came up was how was work study going to work for both the Bridge students and the traditional students? And my answer to that is virtually. And through research and reporting out, as I mentioned earlier, the Bridge program will be considerably more rigorous in terms of how they were expected to implement their work study than the traditional students. However, both are expected to do some research, ask some questions, and report out by the end of the program. So thank you. That is all I have for the Upward Bound Summer Learning Institute. I'd like to thank you again for watching the video and considering joining us. And please let us know if you have any questions or concerns, or if I missed anything in the video by commenting below. Thanks and have a good one.